Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 6 stream. My name is Adam. I am the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and not pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with Wild Thing, Minnesota Wild 2019-2020 season and rebuild. Jeff.
Where everybody's on the trading block.
Yeah, we literally have put most of the team up, and we're going to keep adding to it. So right now, our big move was we traded away Eric Stahl already. We made a couple of pickups on waivers, if I remember it. I should really pull this up. I want to go to our
Only
team.
there was something like a log of all the transactions.
Yeah, no, my brain needs to see it. There it is, transaction log. All right. Oh, it's so nice when it loads so fast. So we got rid of... Going back. Oh, right. We sent Ryan Hartman back, too. Right. So we sent Victor Rask away and got Phil Di Giuseppe. We sent Eric Stahl away and got Wade Simmons. We sent Ryan Hartman away, got a 5th-round pick. We sent Falkovsky, I'm not sure. I don't remember that guy, for a 6th-round pick. And then we got a 4th-round pick. Oh.
That was because we were, I think we were at 50 contracts. We needed to get something
right.
out of
So
there.
we dumped some guys.
Yeah.
So we got a 4th-round pick and dumping out some
guys.
guys.
The reason for the Mayhew and Dumont one, too. So we've got a little bit of...
Yeah.
That puts us at 46 contracts. Yeah, that's why we did it.
So, yeah, we picked up Vladislav Kamenev, Andrew Nielsen, and Joe Hickett's on waivers to kind of boost up our team. So, yeah, we're 46 contracts. So we have a bit of room. We put Dubnyk on the trade block. We put Ryan Suter on the trade block. We are adding Jared Spurgeon to the trade block right now because his 8-year deal is not going to work for us. Dumba's on there. Not that anybody would probably want him, but Greg Pattern probably should be. Maybe we should try and shop him right now. How do you feel about that? Simmons is on. Zuccarello's on.
$2 million salary. Where are we? We're still way above the floor.
Kevin Fiala is also on.
I know. You might want to keep... Well, the only thing is... How many defensemen are we carrying?
We're going to shop him anyways. We got no offers. Everybody's sad.
What I would maybe do is put swap Hickett's into the lineup for Nielsen and let Nielsen send him down to the AHL because he's just 1 star at this point and he's young. We may screw up his development a little bit by putting him in over his head right now.
All right. Even though we might lose him, we'll let him go. Hi, Took, and hi, Gudu. Thanks for coming to our stream. So right now we're sitting at 22 of 23 people. That's fine. Hopefully maybe somebody interest comes up on waivers anyways. Actually, Brendan Lemieux is on waivers. Should we pick him up? Two-star potential.
I think we're... do we really need... He's not like he's going to get much better.
No, but he could be something. I'm just thinking he could be... Yeah. Let's put a claim in on him. What's the worst that happens? We end up trading him away?
Yep.
Well, let's claim him. Playing against Winnipeg, we're just kind of going to sim this through because really there's not much for us to do at this point. And big surprise, we lost 6-2. Destroyed, actually, I guess would probably be a better way to put it. Only got 25 shots on net compared to giving up 45. Taking a
So you threw a game to the Jets. What a surprise.
Quick look, Joe Hickett's not great. Offensive game rating of 46. Spurgeon was 49, though. Giuseppe was 47. Defensive fully. Oh, man. Foligno, there we go. It was 41. Joel Arison Eck, 41. Kamenev, 45. Boy, those are some... 44 for Kevin Fiala. Yeah, not very good looking. But the good news is Mikko Koivu's ready to come back.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on those defensive game ratings. If that persists, we may have to change something up defensively, but don't want to jump on it too early.
Golden Man 199 says pick up Lemieux, so he's happy with that move. All right, it's not going to hurt anything.
You are going to have to send a couple of guys down here with Koivu coming back and picking up Lemieux?
No, we only have to send one because we sent Nielsen down already. And we got a
Oh,
trade
okay. So
proposal from the
probably
Islanders here, so let's see what they're offering. They're offering Derek Brassard for Devin Dubnyk. Reject.
okay. Of all the things we could do, that would not be one of them.
Oh, wait. Jordan Greenway just got hurt. How long is he out for? Bruised back day to day. Well, we could just put him on. Let's put him on the injured list, and that solves that problem. So
The one thing with Brassard is he's a free agent after this year, so we would get rid of about $4 million in cap space at the end of the season. But
oh, wait a second. We didn't get
I don't think
him.
we've got a.
Did I not? Did somebody else get him? Oh, yeah, the Blue Jackets got him.
Okay.
Oh, they were lower than us. All right, fair enough.
Check your home screen. Did they have to waive anybody else to get him?
No, they sent him straight down. Although Valentin Zykov is on waivers. That's not worth it. Oh, well, he might come back up at some point. Okay, so we've added Koivu back in. That still gives us 20 guys dressed. So let's redo our lines here.
Yeah, now that he's healthy.
All right. I guess the one question would be, do we want to change any of our tactics?
Not yet, I don't think. Like I said, watch the defensive game scores. If we keep struggling there, then maybe change some things up defensively to something a little more conservative. But I think we're okay for now.
Okay, I rebalanced out some time because, well, we should.
You may want to swap Kunin's role. He's he can play wing too, but you got him in the up and down winger role. You might want to make that something different. He can do, what can he do?
He can do
Maybe playmaker, setup
anything.
man. I mean, yeah, almost literally, he's got about a half dozen different roles that are only a point below the up and down one.
Goldman says Parise for a good prospect. That would be ideal, but Parise has a no trade movement, right?
Yeah, so we may get an offer from him that'll sort of let us cheat around it, but probably try and squeeze whatever points we can get out of him, and then hopefully we get something offered.
Okay,
By
so
the deadline, at least.
who are you mad about? Kunin?
Yeah, Kunin's role.
Well, that is his highest thing, but you want him on what? You want him on playmaker? Setup man?
If he's playing center, that would probably make a little more sense, because who's he got? I didn't see who he had on that line with him, but if he's got
Simmons and
that's,
Foligno. That is kind of a grinding line, but I don't mind it. Play this game out again, just kind of going to sim right through it. And we lose 5-4, unsurprisingly.
kept it close against Pittsburgh at least.
Did you see the news that Crosby's actually been playing hurt for the first month of the year?
Yeah, what else? Well, it's been a while for him since a bad injury, so.
Well, he said he's got a sports hernia he's been playing with, but he didn't want to leave the lineup because they didn't have anybody else. He said now that guys are getting healthy back, he's considering having surgery now.
It's going to put him on the sidelines for a while.
Yeah. Josh Ho-Sang has went to the Devils. And, Brendan Lemieux just got flipped to the Devils as well. Interesting. I guess we could take a quick look here and look at, see if anybody interesting is on the trade block. Of course, we're the highest with them, but William Nylander, our hero from our Quebec Nordiques game with Franchise Hockey Manager 5, which we brought to Franchise Hockey Manager 6 at the beginning, is actually on the trade block, unsurprisingly. And then basically it's our entire team after that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's on the trading block in your game, but I'm looking at it, and you want to pick up Evander Kane?
No, thank you. Jacob Trouba is. That's
No.
kind of funny. but I don't want that
Ilya
contract.
Kovalchuk is in this one. That's not surprising because he's apparently on his way out of LA now.
Oh,
For
yeah,
real.
yeah. I'm not really seeing anybody who's jumping off the screen to me. Now, one of the things we should actually look at too is the NHL entry draft page and see if we're actually missing anybody getting scouted. Lots of guys on E. Don't.
Still early in the year. That's only
Yeah,
October, beginning of October.
just to keep an eye on things. So we did redo a bunch of our scouting. Just take a look. Oh, we don't have a guy who does not have an assignment. Let's fix that right now. He's just going to look at Western Canada, I guess.
You could just throw somebody in the entry draft and have him scout the highest potential guys.
How do I
On
do
quality.
that then?
Who was the unassigned guy?
His name is Derek Yopik. Use draft eligibility.
Yeah, you want to use draft eligibility. Draft is the NHL draft. Rights available, although I think that'll be somewhat redundant. And scout for potential, scout for quality.
Okay, but do I need to set a region or league or what?
No. It'll look at everybody that's eligible for the draft. What you may want to do
Okay, cool.
is set the minimum potential at about 2.5 stars, just so he's only looking at guys that are, or maybe down to 2,
Let's keep it at 2.
just to make sure you get the top, like the first. That should be 6.5. That should be first 5 or 6 rounds, I think.
Okay. Let's. You think one guy's enough?
You could swing somebody else over too. It'll be kind of redundant, but it'll get him scouted a little faster.
Yes, swing somebody else. And by that you mean hire somebody.
Yep, or grab somebody that has probably the all USA and Canada setting, like
Wouldn't a
Timber
Europe
and Martin
person be
Hislop.
good?
Just for the European players.
Well, that's what I mean, though. If this guy's Alberta, so he'll get most of North America.
Yeah, I guess that'll make sense.
So what do we want for a European from where, probably? Okay, first off, we can sign Dan McKinnon. He's good as both, so let's hire him as a scout for USA and all of Canada. Now for Europe, what if we just a Nordic Europe guy? That would make sense. Northern Europe.
That won't get Russia and the Czechs, but it'll keep them a little more focused. But you still want to keep it on the draft eligible if you want to be focusing on the prospects for that.
Yeah, well, I do. So let's take. Oh, those guys are pretty expensive. How much Anders Carlson wants? 41,000 for 4 years. How much does he want? Okay, here we go. Bjorn Ostergaard wants $23,500 for 4 years. Done. All right, so if you go back to scouting now, USA All of Canada is Dan McKinnon, so let's put him on the entry draft as well. And so he will. I'm not gonna. He's gonna be able to sort or do all of it, rather than just focus on 2. So we have 2 guys on the NHL entry draft, and then we have Northern Europe. Okay, we will use on draft eligibility and put his potential to look at 2 stars and above. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be okay.
And all right. So that puts us 3 guys on the NHL entry draft. That works. I like that. You can see we try to cover a variety of areas, but focusing on the Western Hockey League, the USHL, Quebec, Ontario, NCAA Division 1, and of course, looking at the ECHL and the American Hockey Leagues if we're going to be making trades with other teams. Tuke brings up a good point about Kovalchuk we were talking earlier. He says, who knew signing an old player who spent the last half decade in the KHL would be a bad idea?
Go figure.
Crazy, I know. Game versus Ottawa, we're going to give this start to Stalock. Well, the thing is, too, you got to remember, Stalock gets another shutout. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Thing about Kovalchuk was, if you remember, a couple of years ago, his Russian team benched him for being too slow and not playing.
Yeah, so
Of course, coming over to, the U.S. would make that so much better. And we lose 3-0 versus the Leafs, because of course we do.
I mean, it's not like there's any distractions for him from in a little place like Los Angeles, right?
Absolutely not.
Perfect environment for him.
P-Wog thinks we should have a dedicated scout just for the Red Wings. That seems like a little bit of an overkill. 2-4 start. We are currently in last place in the Central, but the Rangers are yet to win a game, so.
Yes, I mean, what we've got, we don't want to get killed too bad that we get so badly that we get fired, but try and preserve a decent draft pick next year. Man, so I don't think we're going to the playoffs with this team.
And we lost 7-3 to Montreal.
Particularly once we start selling guys off the deadline.
Let's see. Shots are pretty even looking at, 35 defensive game rating from Brad Hunt, 42 from Parise, 42 from Phil Di Giuseppe, 37 from Luke Kunin, 45 from Wayne Simmons. Lovely.
So, yeah, they basically ate our lower lines there.
Question for you in the chat there, Jeff.
Great game defensively from Berdine, though.
And all right, so Jordan Greenway's back. So we can move him back to the active roster.
Vertman is already called up. He just played last night. Double checking, but yeah, he's been up. I mean, he's doing good. His production is where it usually is, but.
So Giuseppe comes out. We put Greenway in for that. Greenway comes in as a grinder on the fourth line. Yeah, that works. I think it's a nice balance. 2-5. All right. I think we need to shop somebody again.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Perfect time to shop somebody. I know it's going
I could
poorly.
move one of those right wings.
Oh, we can't
Although
shop
they're gonna lose Stones
Zuccarello.
at the end of the year.
We can't shop Zucker. We can
That
shop.
Zuccarello contract's almost as bad as the Spurgeon one.
We can shop Kevin Fiala, so we did. Montreal offers us 32-year-old Lucas Vigimio and a 7th-round pick. Let's say no. Jacob De La Rosa from the Wings. No. Ville Meskinen. Nope. Ben Hutton. Nope. Rasmus Asplund. That's not actually a terrible trade. Nick Leddy? No. Igor Sarongovich? Probably said that wrong, but no. 23-year-old Chase Brickley? No. Connor Garland? Ottawa offers Max Varno. Reach.
Garland.
Carter Rowney? No. Too old.
Garland's got still on his ELC, and he's got another year on it after this. 2.5 star, 3-star potential. Although no, our scout says he's 2.5 stars.
Okay, so I left 3, which was Arizona, which was Connor Garland. Vancouver was... Oh, I missed that one, apparently. We're not doing that. And Buffalo was Rasmus Asplund.
Garland's better than Asplund.
But he's 21, so he's got a ways to go. Yeah, he was a 33rd overall.
Necessarily any higher, though.
What's that, sorry?
I don't think his peak is going to be necessarily even higher. He hasn't really scored that much on any level yet.
Well, we can let's hold off on the trade then. We won't make the trade yet.
Yeah.
But now we got a feeling of what's out there. And just because I can, gonna shop Matt Dumba again to see if we get any interesting offers. Montreal offers Shea Weber for Matt Dumba.
Yeah, I don't think so.
23-year-old Brandon Parlini and a 7th round pick. Nope. Adam Earn and a 7th round pick. 23-year-old defenseman Tony DeAngelo. No. Jeff Carter. We could get Jeff Carter. That's a trade you make. $25.
Oh, I got the Devils offered. I did it my save. The Devils offered me Saban for him.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think I really want to make that trade either. Sam Bennett.
No.
Matt Martin. Ooh. Oh, in this one they offered Damon Severson. The Devils. Garnet Hathaway. No. Oscar Clefbaum. Sorry. Nope. Dougie Hamilton. Okay, that's actually a little interesting. Christian Fisher in a 7th round draft pick. We don't really need him. Okay, this one, Jack Roslovic for Matt Dumba. Emil Bernstrom and a 7th round pick from Columbus.
See, we're just not getting anybody that's better than about 3 stars, other than the Hamilton one.
He's still rated 3 stars in our game. Here. Bernstrom has potential. It was a 4th round pick, though. So let's recheck that. Jack Roslovic could turn in. He's got 5 points in 9 games so far. So Dougie Hamilton would give us a defenseman for defenseman swap.
I don't really see how that does much for us. So, I mean, it gets us out of a couple of years of one contract, but not really going to improve anything quality-wise. We lose a guy.
Get a substantially bigger defenseman. All right, we won't do it. Yet. As soon as we get the 1st round pick for him, he's gone. The more guys we can move out, especially if we get first rounders, why not? And game versus Montreal, which I'm sure we're probably going to get destroyed in. Sum it out, and we actually win. All right, Stalock continues his impressive play for us and pulls off another win, bringing us to 3-5 on the season, and we all feel a little bit better about that.
And we should probably keep an eye on the fan happiness as the season goes on. I don't think it's going to be taking too much of a hit at this point, but
And Josh Hosang is claimed by his next team. The Winnipeg Jets have claimed him.
how many teams has he been with this year?
That's the
At least
third
his third,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, he's went from the Islanders to the Devils to Winnipeg.
Yeah, good luck to them.
Interesting moves. All right. I know somebody in the chat at some point's probably going to ask about what our thought is on the Hockey Night in Canada news. But rather, Jeff, I want to ask you a question. And what do you think they should do during the first intermission this week on Saturday Night Hockey? Or what do you see them doing?
Who was it that I can't remember who it was who had this sort of knockoff Don Cherry show that they were trying to do for a while. I think it was still on a Hockey Night in Canada. Oh, Kelly Rudy.
Oh, yeah, behind the mask?
Yeah, he was trying too hard to be Don Cherry, and it was awful. So not that one, not him. I can rule that out.
See,
No, bring somebody new in. Do what you did with Cherry in 82 or 83.
I think the smart play personally is probably just have nothing for a little while. Just have a round table discussing things.
Yeah, hot stove thing.
Yeah, I don't think you really need that strong personality. Yeah, Brian Burke's been a bit of a rumor. I'm not sure if I'm sold on that idea. But, you kind of see how things go. Totally, I said not really for much of a discussion, but I really don't want to discuss too much about it. But I said if you subscribe to The Athletic, which I do, and I highly recommend it. If you don't, Down Goes Brown, Sean McIndoe wrote a really nice piece that I thought summed up my feelings personally fairly well.
Oh, I thought you were going to recommend Sean for the job.
No, not at all. He'd be a guy I'd want to see on the round table. I think this is the time when they can kind of look at and readdress some stuff. But no, I'm just if you haven't read the piece, it's worth a read for sure. There's several good ones on The Athletic, to be honest, but his was my favorite. No, if I had to pick like somebody to be their new like guy who's going to talk about things, I want them to somehow probably get John Tortorella.
Okay, that would be entertaining. Yeah, if they want to go in that direction.
I think he'd be fascinating to hear him rant. Granted, he has a coaching job right now, so that seems less than likely, but
yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But
okay, Simmons got hurt and Jonas Brodin got hurt, but Brodin can play. He has a medium facial cut. Oh, that's too bad. We're gonna give what is this guy's name? Sturm. We're going to give Sturm his first game of the year, I believe. Nico Sturm. And see how he does. Coming in on the wing. Yeah, sure, we'll play Dubnik in this game. And we actually pull off the win, 5-2. All right. Dumba scores, Suter scores, Coonan scores. Works for me. Neely says Mike Keenan. I do not want to hear anything about what Mike Keenan has to say. It was kind of like TSN. I don't know if you read it, Jeff. TSN had that piece written by Craig McTavish or whatever about his time in the KHL. It was
Something.
not well written, to say the least. Although I think they said somebody else wrote it with him, but man, it literally read like a transcript, which is not a good way to tell a story to me. Regardless, I'd be like, I don't want to hear what Craig McTavish has to say on Hockey Thoughts. I don't think he was that good of a coach to begin with. And he was definitely not a very good GM. Although he will forever be burned in my mind of that shocked look on his face. We're going to take Brodeen out and throw Pattern in because he's down to 71%. I'll sim this game out versus Dallas. Oh, good. Kudobin's on fire. And so we lose, of course. 3-2.
And we were almost back at 500 for a minute there, but may want to take a look at our stats and just see how people have been doing so far this year, if that defensive game rating has dropped.
Tuke makes an interesting suggestion in the chat for what they could do during the first intermission on Saturday.
Advanced. I read that this advanced tactics at the start and thought, yeah, we're back to Howie Meeker style. So
Entertaining.
they had on Howie Meeker was basically Cherry before Cherry came along. Only he sort of wasn't really like. I mean, he'd show a lot of video like Coach's Corner does, but he would screech about tactics, and it was mostly didn't make that much sense because the guy hadn't coached since the 50s.
Yeah, well, there's still some
But
guys.
amusing in an annoying sort of way.
All right, we did pull off a win there versus St. Louis 3-1. So it seems our team plays fairly well when Stalock's in net.
Yeah, which is odd. I mean, it's not like we can really plan around that because Stalock's 32, and I mean he's a solid backup, but I don't think we want to be using him as our starter for any length of time.
All right.
Hopefully Kakinen develops relatively quickly in Iowa.
Development report. And Jack McBain increases. Offensive read. McBain. Alexander Kovanov playing. How was he there? Okay, Alexander Kovanov somehow ended up in Alberta Junior B after playing last year with Moncton. Oh, Atlantic Junior B. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've probably
sent him down.
They have a loaded roster or something, and they didn't have room for him.
That'd be my guess.
Okay. No, his ratings don't look too far off.
No, it's fine. I was thinking it was Alberta. Just got messed up with the name. That makes way more sense. Capo Kakinen's 1.5, 4 stars. Ooh, 861 save percentage with Iowa. Although in fairness, our Iowa team is probably pretty bad.
How are they doing right now?
Guys coming, but it's going to be a while. You want to know how Iowa is doing? So let's go to the AHL.
Yeah.
And go standings. And I currently don't have the logo pack installed, so I'll probably try and get that for next time. Iowa's currently sitting in fourth. They are at 6-4 on the year and through 10 games. They've given up 37 goals and scored 37 goals. 2-2 at home,
Okay, they're
4-2
scoring.
on
They
the
just got no D then. Who's getting the points for them?
You asked so many questions.
No, I mean, they're averaging 3.7 goals a game. That's pretty impressive. I
Let's
think
see.
it's coming from somewhere. Maybe somebody we should call up.
Ivan Lodina.
But yeah,
He has 15 points in 10 games. I would say we should still leave him there right now. Kyle Raw has 12 points in 10 games. Will Bitten has 10 points in 9 games.
okay, so nice numbers out of the prospects at least, particularly Lednia. If we
Connor Dewar has 6 points in 9 games as well. So we got some guys who are coming. I forgot to look at free agents again. Just looking at young guys. Oh, do we have nobody on free agents? Maybe we should have somebody looking at free agents because all these guys are rated level E. So let's put somebody scouting. Do we need another scout? Jeff, I can hear you groaning. Stop it. Do we have anybody doubled up? Well, I could take the one guy off the entry draft and put him on just free agents. What's your thoughts on that?
well, we just put him there.
Okay, we're going to go sign somebody else then. Why is there nobody available? Oh, great, because my maximum age was set to too low. All right. Scouting. Probably want to all of USA and Canada again guy, huh?
Yeah.
Bob Huffenmeyer. Just scouting. He's just going to look at free agents. And perfect. All right, continue. I think one of the most surprising parts in this game is the Islanders are actually sitting in last place in the Metro. 3-8-1 to start off. It's a rough go. And one game under 500 for us. Hopefully we can turn that around. And board confidence update. Craig Leopold is very disappointed and thinks we need to improve the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're trying, but it's going to take a while. Maybe if he hadn't signed all those guys to bad long-term contracts, it'd be
Man,
a little easier.
we lost 4 happiness for trading away Eric Stahl. looking at our looking at our job security.
Yeah, that'll happen. You got to pay attention to what the if
Hurts.
you're moving a popular guy. What's it down to now? I haven't. My
Oh, we're at
screen hasn't updated
75.
yet. Oh, okay. That's going up and down. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, we're actually pretty good. Our owner needs to back off. And oh man, we get beat 3-2. We only give up 18 shots, but Staylock apparently let everything through. And something bad happened, and St. Louis player got suspended for 4 games. Unsurprisingly, Alexander Ovechkin is leading the league in scoring, followed by Matthews and Kyle Connor. All right, Wayne Simmons is back, which means Sturm is coming out. So, Jeff, one of the things got asked a few times is, have you started doing some re-ratings for players now? After the first month
Yeah,
of the
we're
season?
pretty much constantly doing that. That'll. I think Smetana did a pretty big overhaul of the NHL guys. Is it the last update or the one before that? And we'll probably do have the next update. We'll have some more changes.
Okay.
But yeah, we generally keep doing that continuously through the season.
Off the top of your head, can you think of anybody who jumped significantly? Or did anybody jump significantly? Or fall significantly?
I'm not sure what he did. I haven't taken a look at anything he's changed yet. I've been working a lot on the historical database, so I haven't been looking into the current one that much lately.
Ooh,
I know one of the, just one of the guys I noticed in this game, it's probably a little low, is Brad Hunt. He was off to a good start with Minnesota in real life, so probably needs to come up a little bit.
That's a better game finally. 40 defensive game rating from Foligno again, but everyone else's lowest is 48 after that. Simmons. What have you been doing in historical for those wanting to know?
Just going over I'm working on the 1970s right now, going through and re-rating everybody and trying to get them upgraded to the current version of the rating standards, because the ones when I originally did them 5-6 years ago for some of the guys I'm looking at now, things have shifted a little bit since then. So I'm redoing all of that and just gradually working my way forward, and eventually we'll get all the guys up to. When you play a historical game, you tend to see the star ratings are a little lower than what you would see in a standard game. So we'll get them
back in line
to one steady standard, hopefully. Yeah.
Excellent. And we get beaten up by the Sharks. 7-3 loss. Brent Burns had 1 goal and 4 assists against us. That hurts. That hurts so bad. Also somewhat notable is Michael Hutchison has a .932 save percentage in this game. I'm pretty sure the Leafs would have really liked him to have that, but
yeah, as opposed to, what was it, 850 or something when they moved him?
Well, he's getting hung out to dry, but
still he started 05-1, I think.
Oh, I'm not saying moving him down wasn't called, but again, if you're entirely blaming it on the backup goalie, you're not looking at that whole team. They are starting to pay for
Well, it's not like they're
having
doing badly. I mean,
60% of their payroll on forward, under one line on forward, pretty much. Game versus the
I don't think
Coyotes.
Tyson Berry has exactly worked out the way they had hoped so far. No goals through the first 20 games yet.
Be close to it.
Yeah. And he's getting 20 plus minutes a night.
Tuke says, "Did you see Bob McKenzie roasting the Leafs defense after Hutchison was waived?" Yeah, well, I mean, he pointed out, the only games Hutchison has played in is back-to-backs, and he's getting all the second nights of back-to-backs. So, I mean, that doesn't exactly help.
Yeah, I think he's averaging something like 35 shots against a game, and Anderson's only about 30.
Now, I'm not a huge Hutchison fan myself. I didn't mind him playing for the Jets, but I thought there was better goalies. But I think he's still probably a capable backup, but they were not positioning him in a spot to support him.
Yeah, I don't really see that's going to solve anything by putting somebody else in that spot. He's just going to get the same thing Hutchinson did.
And simming out again, and Stalock
And it
wins.
sounded like the Leafs are really reaching for a potential replacement. I think they've been talking to Scott Darling at one point, who's still a free agent now.
There was a few names Elliot Freeman had in his 31 Thoughts that were released today. And we just lost Jared Spurgeon for 3 weeks.
Ouch.
So... Brad Hunt... Greg Sturgeon goes to the injured list. All right. And we continue on. Yeah, that they said a couple of the names they thought one of the guys from Phoenix as well as Eric Comrie was somebody else they thought they could target. Eric Comrie is a decent goalie, but man, I've seen him play in some games that just make you wonder if he's ever played net in his life. And then the next game, he looks like he should be an NHL starter. There was a Manitoba Moose game I went to 2 years ago, and I think he gave up like 6 goals on like 14 shots. And the entire time watching, I was just constantly thinking, like, this guy's supposed to be the next big thing for the Jets. Ooh. And then you see he gets like a 37 save shutout the next game, and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. For non-Winnipeg fans, because, Winnipeg's got this Russian goalie, Mikhail Burden, they drafted 3 years ago now. Maybe he was playing in the USHL, and then they signed him. He started in the ECHL, made it up to the AHL last year. He was the guy who, if you remember seeing the goaltender who did like all the celebrations after scoring a goal, that's Mikhail Burden. It was a viral video going around a lot at that time. Anyways, no, geez, and now we just our replacement just got suspended 7 games. What did you do? Illegal check to the head, 5 minutes. 7-game suspension. All right, so we're going to the depth chart. Anyways, my point was he actually just he just about scored again on the weekend. Okay, it looks like we're calling up Brennan Meno. Any disagreement?
Pazzi, he wasn't one of the guys you were saying was scoring earlier, was it?
No.
Was he? In Iowa?
No, we're looking for a
I
defenseman
forgot.
anyways, not a forward.
Yeah. Oh, were there no D on that list? Okay.
I don't believe so. No, wait a second. He had 10 points in 15 games, so that's as good as it's going to get.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, so he's coming in.
Yeah, Tuke, it was Kaskasuo, the Finnish goalie. But I don't know, that's not really probably not a long-term solution. I think that's why they're talking to Darling and Comrie and whoever else they can.
Oh, they're not
I'm saying
talking.
they get Luongo out of retirement. If Luongo unretires, do the Canucks get their cap penalty back?
They should get more for him going to the Leafs.
Uh,
Was he Tuke? I don't think he was
Actually, I'm always
Russian. I
curious
thought
how
he
they
was.
would handle that. I think technically they wouldn't.
I thought he was
It'd be a new
Finnish.
contract.
Am I wrong on that?
No, he's Finnish. Kaskasuo, the Leafs third
Yeah.
stringer? Yeah, Finnish.
Well, just Tuke said Russian in the chat. That's why I said.
Yeah.
So yeah. Comrie was actually hurt. He got hurt like a week into being in Arizona. He just actually went down to Tucson to play a, what do you call it? What type of game? A conditioning stint.
Just looking up where he was, wound up in our game. He's wound up signing in the East Coast League.
Who's that?
Comrie.
In this Minnesota game?
Yeah.
He got all the way down there. Ooh.
Yeah, got to work somewhere.
And we lose 2-0 versus Buffalo. Oh, man. What's going on? 45 defensive game rating from Vladislav Kamenev. That's not good. Everybody else is fine. Not fine, but not terrible, I guess maybe is a better way to say that. Good dude, that was the worst game the Jets played. And I felt bad for what happened to the first goalie. I hope he's all right. I haven't even seen an update on him. But, I mean, it wasn't Scheifele's fault. His defenseman drove him right into the net. Frank Coos, that's his name. Game versus Colorado. Speaking of Colorado. And Stalock comes in and wins again. 4-2. Grubauer is on IR, yes. Should we just make Stalock our number one goalie and see what happens? At this point?
I think in the long run, it's eventually Dubnik will catch up, but you'd like him to get a little more.
Well, you talk about like bad injuries. Poor Brian Little, right? Comes off after getting a concussion, doing pretty darn good. Takes a slap shot to the head, breaks his eardrum, and is now dealing with that plus vertigo. Like, that's just awful. I mean, frankly, all the Jets' luck this year has just been terrible. Mark Letestu, the poor guy, without getting myocarditis. A couple guys in a car accident to start the year. The good news is the goaltending's played well enough to keep them afloat. Keep the Jets afloat, I mean. We'll play Dubnik versus the Wild, or versus the Wild versus the Bruins, and we lose. He can't even last in the game. We lose 10-3. We had 35 shots. They had 37. Dubnik, what did you do? 12
Okay,
shots.
I think I want to take back that. Oh wait,
12
no, he came in. That's
12 shots against. No, he started that. 12 shots against, 4 goals, 8 saves for a 667 save percentage.
well, not like Stalock did any better in his time.
And Suter got hurt. Perfect. I'm so happy about this. Mild abdominal strain. Fantastic.
No, nothing serious at least. We're just improving our draft odds.
I advanced this a day. I should probably stop us. Because we're going to have to call somebody else up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Matt Barkowski, maybe.
10 points in 14 games. Don't know what else to do there. Oh, good. He's hurt. Perfect. Glad I looked him up. He's got a black eye day to day. Barkowski. So we're going to send him right back down, even though he's on waivers. I'm going to guess he probably doesn't get picked up. I guess we're going to call up. Do we have a young defenseman? Not really. Nope. Yeah, but he won't be waiver eligible. Or he'll still have to be on waivers. All right. So he came up. All right. Let's continue to. Wow, too many players on the active roster. All right. Let's send Sturm down. He's not playing anyways.
He's getting any playing time.
And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I did see Luongo got a new job today. I think that job is mostly just needs something to do. All right. Suter's out, so we're putting in Depleto play game versus the Rangers. Stalock says he picks up the win for us versus Henrik Lundqvist and the Rangers. And we hit 20 points on the year. Game versus the Devils. Put Dubnik in. Sim it out. And, Dubnik actually gets a win. We win in overtime. In a shootout by the looks of it. We only get 24 shots on net, but we win. Only goal scored was by Vladislav Kamenev. So
Take it.
Take the wins where we can. Stars may make a coaching change. Question is that real life or no? I don't know. I kind of chuckle when they're like, oh man, the Stars are doing so poorly. They're getting ready to call somebody else out. It's like, well, they continue to sign older guys. and not inject youth in, and it doesn't seem to work. It's a shocker why it doesn't work. Game versus Ottawa. Oh, Kamenev's down to 70%, so let's pull him out of that lineup and put in Giuseppe. Staylock in. Staylock wins 5-4 over Craig Anderson. Ottawa's actually got a better record than us. They're 13-11-2. We're 12-14 now. Well, at least we're treading water.
Yeah, just not to get fired. That's all we're shooting for this year. Sell off our big contracts at the trading deadline and have a big draft.
So what we can, at least.
Yeah, and grab some free agents.
Maybe we'll get lucky and there'll be a... Nah, probably not. We could buy somebody out, too. It might be an option. Buy out Parise. Buy out Suter.
I think Spurgeon's would be too much of a mess to do, although that'll be tempting in a couple of years if we haven't moved him by that point.
Players of the month named... Not us. Shocking. Ryan O'Reilly's out 6 weeks, and Miku Koivu goes down. All right. Checking names. Jack McBain goes up. Kovanov goes up. Oh, good. He finally got back to Moncton. 7 points in 9 games. All right. Ooh, that Ivan Lodina continues to do well. 25 points in 22 games.
Slowed down a little bit, but yeah, still pretty good rookie year for him.
If you're over a point per game pace, you're doing well. Hunter Jones is coming up a bit. That's good. 1 star. Game versus Dallas. Well, we'll leave Staylock in net. And we lose. Of course we do, because why wouldn't we lose? Good news is Greg Pattern's suspension has ended. Which we can all be happy about.
And yeah, if getting Greg Pattern back is a highlight. Kind of tells you how the season's going.
Which I think kind of is our perfect point to call it for the night. We'll see how our owner feels. And with that, we've been on for, kind of our hour. There's nothing too exciting to do right now. It's just kind of going to be just playing through. There's a chance I might advance it a little bit. We'll kind of see how things go. I might not. But it's not like there's going to be too much exciting going on. Our board confidence thinks the season is really disappointing. We're 6-8-0 in the last month, but our owner is satisfied with our work.
Good.
We're still at 73 plus, so it's going to be a tough go, that's for sure. So with that, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager 6 stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey, where you can also find a link to our official Discord. And I just got to think here for a second. My brain has suddenly just dropped all sense. You can also come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right hand corner, which will bring you down to our official forums. And you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, which now has tournaments, and just about anything else you want. Jeff, did I miss anything?
Nope, that's about it. Still working on another update. Not going to be coming in the next few days, but making progress on. Got a few things fixed. Found a couple of new issues that we got to deal with. Probably get a database update in there too with the next one. And I think this will be the start of our when we started including the current database we'll have. So you'll have up-to-date NHL rosters if you want to start with those instead of the opening night ones. So that will be the next update, and then we'll probably be timing another one sometime shortly before Christmas, I think.
Excellent. Sounds good. So thank you very much, and we will see you all again next week.